Yes. Hello, everyone. This is Uncle Odd. How are you? This is a show. This is an interview that I just didn't want to do. I really didn't want to do it. I never want to do one of these like this because it has to do with someone who got ripped off big time. And the reason why I am bringing this to you is I find zero joy in delivering this kind of content with you. But let me just tell you a quick story before I introduce our guest. So as most of you know, the second week of January is when I first entered into this cryptocurrency ecosystem. I didn't know anything about it. And the gentleman who is on the show with me right now, honestly, this is the first time I've ever seen him face to face. But we know each other through other chats and forums and go back a good bit of time we're both conspiracy minded guys, and he's a prolific researcher and has a repository of content that is just almost second to none. But anyway, he reached out to me the second week of January 2021 and said, "Oh man, you have to buy XRP." And that point in time, I had no idea what XRP was. And I certainly had never dipped my toe in the water of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or exchanges or offline storage wallets or any of that. So I thought, hey, no better time than now. I'm kind of interested in it. It's been on my radar a little bit. My wife and I discussed it. We got a little bit of a collective bonus, and we thought, okay, well, maybe we invest in cryptocurrency. And so what did Uncle Odd do? Yeah, I'm a Russian bot. I just thought that this is a funny T-shirt, just for the purpose of it's kind of a bad joke, actually, for the purpose of this interview. But because I think Russian bots are the blame of everything. My wife is Russian, so that's why I got this shirt. Anyway, you can get this shirt from lifttheveil.com, by the way. Where was I? So Chris Freeman actually suggested that I invest in XRP. And I used this as an opportunity to take my wife and my collective bonus to go. And I did what nobody should ever do. Nobody should ever do this, ever, 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 ever. I just went all in on XRP. I never met Chris. I mean, all I knew is that he's a prolific researcher, seems like a good guy. And I was just kind of in a manic mode saying, yeah, let's do this. Never do this. This is why, Uncle Vigilante disclosure. I don't know shit. And this is not investment advice. I'm just sharing my journey. And if you come along for the ride, maybe you'll learn a little something as I learn a little something. But so XRP, I was all in, bought it at 22 cents. And it almost immediately went up, and I took a little bit of profit. And I figured out how to do that, how to be able to get it onto an exchange at that time, Coinbase. And Coinbase was trading XRP at the time. That's where I bought it. And so I was able to take a little bit to cash and then buy Bitcoin and take a little bit of my increases again to cash. And I bought some Ether, take a little bit. And it was all kind of going, and I was then putting it in Chainlink and all of these things. And I'm starting to learn about all these things and not really realizing that each time you take it to cash, you're creating a taxable event when you can go back and watch the John J. Singleton video and figure out how you don't have to take it to cash. You can put it in a stable coin and then change it. Anyway, long story there. Go back and watch the John J. Singleton video. I wish I knew all of that before I started doing that. But I ended up with a diversified portfolio because of this man, Chris Freeman. Then all of a sudden, So I had like 31,000 XRP left, I think. And then all of a sudden, XRP was delisted from Coinbase. And I couldn't figure out how to get my XRP, which was showing up as zero. Showed me I had 31,000, but it showed up as zero. And I couldn't figure out how to get it over to my Exodus wallet. Freaked out. Went through about 2 weeks of freaking out. As Chris knows, we went back and forth on that. None of us could figure it out. And it just had to do with Coinbase that if you put some money in, they keep it for 2 weeks before you can take it out. So it kind of solved itself, but it still freaked me out. It still freaked me out. And it was just kind of fun. You guys remember Wall Street Bets? Well, Wall Street Bets, after GameStop, they focused on, I think it was January 18th. I can't remember the date. 26 maybe. Anyway, they focused on XRP. So they were just going to ride that baby up. So all of a sudden, my XRP, went up to, I think its high was 61 cents. And I mean, seeing that portfolio go from 22 cents to 68 cents, I'm like, hell yeah, I love me some Chris Freeman. He's awesome. I am so grateful, and I am actually, that Chris got me into cryptocurrency. So this is the guy, but now the rest of the story. The rest of the very, very, very upsetting story. Now, Chris knows his way around a computer. He's been downloading content from the internet for a gazillion years that is research-based. So that if the Druid, 7 years. So if the Druid Babylonian bastards ever take anything down from YouTube or all the other platforms, he has it on this big old shiny fat computer of his, hard drive. And we were celebrating, going back and forth about, hey, how about that XRP prize? Hey. And then I got a telegram notification from him, or a DM, and it just said, I lost it all. I'm like, what? I lost it all. Someone hacked into my Exodus wallet and stole every bit of it. So I know from other conversations that Chris had been working on building his, I think, close to $100,000 worth of cryptocurrency for lots of years, including mining and including trying to figure it out. But he was pretty much all in on XRP, which one day that, I think it was like you said, Chris, $75,000 or $80,000. One day, if XRP does what it is supposed to do, and if it does become, as John J. Singleton says, the world currency, then that coin, which is trading now at like 52 cents, 55 cents, that coin, they're saying, it's not out of the question that could be, $12,000. That's what John said, $12,000. And I mean, think about it. Bitcoin's trading at 35,000. It's not the world currency. So it's not out of the question. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a giant loss, and we mourn Chris's loss today. I'm deeply, deeply, deeply sorry, Chris, for this. And I am grateful that you have agreed to come on here to explain what in the F happened and how those of us who are newbies can avoid a similar mistake. So with that long tee up, sorry, let me pass it over to you, Chris.
All right. So first of all, I wouldn't consider myself a prolific researcher. I would throw that to Mark Passio and David Icke, Michael Desarian. Those people are
Speak up a little bit. I can barely hear you.
All right. I'm actually talking quite loud as it is. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, a little
of
bit.
this.
You're gonna have to just look like a stud where you're holding something up in front of you. Let's pretend it's the world's smallest mask.
Okay. Did you hear anything I said at the beginning?
Yeah. David Icke, and you made a couple of references.
Mark Passio, they're the prolific researchers. I'm in like the gathering stage, I guess, and kind of trying to spread the information among people who listen.
Okay.
So I like that. Was that intro with that spark going across the wire? Did that show in your intro for the show?
Yeah, that was the intro to the show.
I think that was my crypto going over the line to.
Yeah, that was the point of the visual. Is like replays. This is. If people go back to the beginning, the first one is a successful where it gets from point A to point B. The second one, it goes and it's gone and it disappears. That's kind of what happened in your world. So explain to us what in the hell happened.
So I had at the beginning when I first saw it, I had a lot of theories because this kind of thing can come from anywhere. And it could be an Exodus employee. It could be Israel because they have backdoors into the Intel chips, or it could be who knows what. Microsoft, they have all these backdoors into your computer. It could be because I installed it on my phone and there's a lot of apps on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be whatever. So I disinfected. In the process of disinfecting the PCs, I started to get a beat in on how they might have done it.
Okay, before you go there, just please share with us, your day when you woke up and you thought you had your portfolio full of XRP. Just explain to us what happened and what you went through.
Oh, yeah, I opened Exodus, logged in, and the wallet balance was like $11.
Jesus.
And, it turned heads exploding. Well, if it was possible, my head probably would have exploded at that point. So I looked into transactions and I saw, in fact, I exported the transactions and I saw on February 3rd at night, outgoing transactions for one of them was 68,500 XRP outgoing. And then there was another one where it was like a little bit more. And then another one, they converted the Binance that I had like 55.5 Binance coin. They converted that to Bitcoin and then transferred it out.
Jeez.
And then I saw, let me see, I can actually look at it while I'm talking. I saw Bitcoin transferred out twice.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah. There it is.
There you go.
There.
Okay, this is great. Thank you.
So here's the right here. You can see the 68,500 XRP here.
Mm-hmm.
And I use these. It gives you a transaction URL, and I clicked on that and got the wallet address here. They took out some Ethereum here. Looks like maybe less than $1,000 worth. Here's the Binance, 55.5 Binance, where they exchanged it. They exchanged it to Bitcoin to Bitcoin.
And they did this in the Exodus wallet, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And this is happening at 10:17 p.m., 10:19 p.m., 10:21 p.m., 10:30 p.m. They withdrew. Here's 0.07 Bitcoin.
Okay, before you freak everyone out, can you just, because my heart's beating a little bit right now, right? Because there's a lot of us that use Exodus. Is this because Exodus was compromised, or is this from something else? Because I don't want people to think, or I don't want Exodus to come after this channel and say, hey, you're saying something that isn't true.
Okay. It's possible that they got remote control of my computer. That's
Okay.
one possibility. And it seems to me the most likely.
Okay.
Um,
So
so
how would they have known then what? So how would they have gotten into it then without knowing your passwords and all that?
browsers saving the password, they might have, and you can do an inspect element on passwords in the browser and get it to reveal the password.
So what is the lesson learned for all of us? Whenever your browser pops up and says save password, never do that.
Never do it. If the password matters to you, if the password is on something important, never do it. For
Okay,
one.
because I can be a creature of habit, as I'm sure many people are. My friend Ab the Fakeologist highly suggests RoboForm as a password manager. I'm sure there are others out there, but uh, I'm guilty, man. I'm still guilty as I stand here right now. I have the same password for lots of different shit. And that's a bad move. So first of all, note to self, Uncle Lod, go fix that.
Yeah. And the thing is, I checked the login history on all of my email accounts. So let's say they did an inspect password on something because it was saved. It was in on I was logged in with Gmail. I was logged in with a Hotmail account or a live.com account, Microsoft. And so they do an inspect password and then they just try the password to see if it works in Exodus, and it opens right up. That's one possibility in this. So we can run with that. We'll just assume that for now. There are others, but let's just assume that for now. So I went into the emails. I have it set where if it logs in from a new location, it sends an alert to my phone before it authorizes it. So there was no location history in the MSN accounts, live.com, and there was no location history in Gmail that was outside my house. So here is one of the things that clued me in is this transaction here is actually a deposit. They deposited money from my NiceHash into
From your what?
NiceHash is a mining software.
Oh.
So the computer that's always on is mining to my NiceHash wallet, which is in the cloud. They got into my NiceHash wallet and transferred the money from there to the Exodus, and then here transferred it out.
Jeez.
And this one was maybe $200.
Yeah, but still, it's like
After they cleaned me out. Yeah, after they cleaned me out of whatever 75K or whatever, they took another 200.
they left no stone unturned, which meant they somehow had access to your computer and control of your computer. And you're a smart guy. And I'm sure protect yourself, and you have antivirus software on your computer and
it was inadequate. It was ClamWin antivirus, like an open source thing. It detected nothing. And the thing is, the reason I had gone that route of having this ClamWin antivirus in this computer is because I was fighting Kaspersky constantly with false positives. All these things that I thought were false positives, maybe some of it was not false positives, but now I know it's worth the fight. It's worth sitting there clicking, add exception, ignore, add exception, over and over again. 50 times. 50 times I'd have to do it.
Okay, back the bus up, please. So is Kaspersky then what those of us who might have inadequate protection, like me, let me raise my hand. Is Kaspersky what you would suggest? Because one thing about this channel, and I'm telling everybody whom I'm interviewing, is we newbies, sure, we can appreciate options in the future. But as you walk slowly with us in the beginning, just tell us what to do. What should I download Kaspersky? Is that a good go-to?
I think so, because, I looked at the various virus protections. I kept, before I bought into it again, because initially a friend of mine had referred me to it, old guy. And so I did it. And then, I was fighting all the false positives. So anyway, now when I come back to it again, now I started researching all these different ones. And it looked like, from what I found online, is that it had the highest ratings overall, multiple sites. Of course, you never know. I mean, maybe Kaspersky made these sites saying, "Hey, we're the best." Maybe they made the articles. But
I just keep waiting for Bill Gates to come out with his software that'll make me feel better.
No, yeah, right. Yeah. He creates the virus and then sells you the virus protection.
Right. So that is a big takeaway from this, and I'm sorry that we are learning from your experience, Chris. I really am.
No, well, that's why I'm doing this, is so maybe nobody else is going to suffer this.
Yeah. Because
by the way,
yeah, go ahead.
When I actually, before I discovered the crypto theft, I had a big infection, or what I think was an infection, on February 5th. So that's 2 days later, because I had downloaded something and I saw it.
So how did you know you had an infection? Did you get a PCR test?
No,
did you shove an anal swab up your computer's USB port?
No, not exactly.
Okay, sorry, I digress.
But this program that I had downloaded, it was stupid. This was a stupid move on my part, and I saw it installing a bunch of programs, so I force shut off the computer. I went on to find out, okay, what do I do? I started the computer in safe mode, did it disinfect, did a Linux USB rescue, did it disinfect, and then also I used Rogue Killer, Malwarebytes, TDS killer, and basically did a cleaning before it could do anything. It had started the process of installing all this crap. I force closed it, started it in safe mode, did all this disinfection. So that was on the 5th. That was after the prime already happened. So that's a separate thing.
So you already got ripped off. So right now you're just saying, okay, however they did it, I want this cancer out of my life. I want to go through all the chemo to be able to just get rid of this. I recognize that these guys have just punched me in the gut and I was robbed. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not going to say or fortunately, but the fact is there is no FDIC insurance. You're not going to, like you have with your bank, if the robbers come in and rob it, then you have your insurance. You're not going to lose your money. That's not the case with this world of cryptocurrency. And so that's why this is very important for us newbies to understand the risks that are out there. And unfortunately, learn from Chris's mistake. And my takeaway right now is second we get off of this, I'm going to my computer that I keep unplugged from the internets, and I'm going to put Kaspersky on it.
Yeah, and plus the big thing about Exodus, I don't think I'll ever use it again, is because they don't have any option for two-factor authentication on outgoing transactions. All transactions are final. So transfer out $100,000, whatever, it's gone, and you did not even get to confirm the transaction.
So what is an alternative wallet than Exodus that you would consider a better go-to?
I don't even know at this time.
Okay.
Ever since this, I thought Exodus was one of the best. But ever
Well, I
since
thought
this
there was
happened,
something called Authy, Authy, an app.
I've heard of it. But the thing is, when they say, okay, with all these wallets, oh, they say, oh, you can get your stuff back using the recovery keys. So let's say it's on a USB, and you lose the USB or it gets corrupted. Oh, but I have the recovery key, so you can recover it. Well, doesn't that mean that any criminal can recover it if they got your keys? If they somehow got into your computer and got those recovery keys somehow, slim chance though. The chances are slim, but it's possible. Well, then they can get access to it from anywhere. Now, I'm not an expert on this, but it doesn't seem 100%. I would say that if you're gonna look into, I haven't looked into it yet, but once you do look into, when you're looking into these wallets, I would say if it's cold storage or hybrid storage, does it have two-factor authentication for outgoing transactions? Some sort of thing where it can go to your phone and you can confirm it using either the authenticator or a text message.
But if it's already on, like let's say either a Trezor, like a Trezor wallet, or what's the other one that they talk about? I have
you bought the Trezor?
I have the Trezor T, yeah.
Oh.
And then I think there's a Ledger is the other primary one that's out there. And I know there's other ways that you can store them, but you're saying from my Trezor, I need to try to figure out if I want to plug that Trezor back into Exodus, which is where it syncs, to be able to send it somewhere, that I need to see, is there then a two-factor auth for that send? Is that what you're suggesting I figure out, or we figure out?
It seems like it. And I would say that if you're going to have an Exodus wallet on a computer, I would say try to keep it a clean computer.
Right. That was the one smart thing that I did. I had a computer. I'm not saying it's smart. It may be not smart. I don't know. I don't know what's on that computer. All I know is I have a computer that I had like 3 years ago that has been just kind of shelved. And so after you initially got me in on this, I only used that. So, and I haven't gone anywhere except Exodus, but I don't know what else is on there. So I got to download Kaspersky and go through the process and clean it. But I hear you. You want to just only have one computer dedicated to your cryptocurrency purchasing and management.
Banking too, maybe, and then there's also the possibility that you could have a VirtualBox virtual machine if you want to familiarize yourself with that, and you can sandbox stuff into it. Like what I did is I no longer use Telegram on the desktop. Instead, I have a Linux virtual machine within my Windows, and then whenever I want to use Telegram or if I want to have it on in the background, I open Linux and I boot it up in Linux. Because I saw some article about how Telegram had a 0-day exploit or something. And I'm like, okay, well, what is that? Maybe they got in because of that, because I left Telegram on all the time. I was uploading research to a cloud.
Yeah.
And I think it took place during that, because at all other times, every time I walked away from my computer, I would always unplug it from the network. But because I was uploading research, I left it plugged in.
I bet you that's when the breach happened.
Probably. And, they got into, I think they were in 2 of my PCs, because the mining rig that I have is a Windows 7 mining rig. Windows 10. It's always on,
Yeah.
I tried to get it to boot a nice hash OS USB where you plug it in, it boots, and it only mines nice hash. There's no operating system. There's no, I would think, no compromising. It's just mining to an address, and that's all it does.
Well,
and I'm getting into complicated stuff now, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, I'm forced to boot it into Windows 10, and I know I'm pretty sure they got into that computer because there is a DNS Trojan that activated the night before last night. It tried to take over that. It tried to run in that computer, and Kaspersky caught it. And it's like a Trojan.multi.DNS changer something or other. And here, let me just show you this.
Can somebody in the chat? Can somebody watching? I know we don't. Can somebody watching just put a message in the chat? I just want to make sure it's working because I haven't seen anything come through. So I'm just curious. Thank you.
So you can see this screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what the name of it is, and apparently this is massively dangerous. Like, it does key logging. It can hold your computer for ransom. It can do all this stuff. Like, your ass to be owned.
Gee.
And Kaspersky caught it activating. It said it found it in the system memory.
Man.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my God. It caught that activating on.
How much is Kaspersky? It's like 80 bucks a year, something like that.
Well, to start, it's like 40 or 50 for 5 users for a year or something like that. And they have discounts all the time.
Let's just call it. Let's call it $40 because with discounts. So if there's a person out there watching this who cannot afford 10 cents a day, then you have spent way too little time in the cracks of your couch, because you can go find 10 cents a day anywhere. And let's do this together. Let's get Kasperskyized, because this is a scary tale right here. And I'm glad to see that this other nasty Trojan, that Kaspersky was able to catch it.
Or something. I mean, if not Kaspersky, have something else,
Right. But we are new here. We're newbies. Yeah. We want to be told what to do. So let's just agree that we're going to go get Kaspersky. And if Kaspersky, and if you're smarter than Uncle Odd, then God bless America. Go out and get your own software. Bottom line is, you want to be able to have something reputable that works, because this is really fun, guys. This cryptocurrency, man, I look at my Blockfolio app and I see my portfolio right now. Let's just see where it is. It is now, it's not quite double what it was a month and a half ago, what I put into it, but it is damned close. That's fun. That's a great dopamine hit. It's really cool. Now, if I woke up tomorrow and I saw that it was $118, that happened to Chris. And so I'm just telling you, this is serious stuff here. This may be the most important video that I have produced or put on this channel to date, because if we can't protect ground zero, then I hate to say it, we might get what we deserve, especially after getting this information.
Yeah.
Screw that. We don't get what we deserve. That would be theft. We never deserve that. I'm just saying, protect yourself. I'm going to protect myself, and I hope you do too.
Yeah. Another thing that's simple to do is to create a bootable Linux USB. You could use like a 64 gigabyte USB, and you boot the computer from it. There's all these instructions online on how to do it. And it's isolated, so it's a safer environment. For those of you who aren't, who don't want to do that, or it's too complicated or whatever, just be wary that Windows 10 is not. Oh my God, it's not your friend.
What about Macs? Are they better?
I think so, but I think so, but it's just ridiculous.
It's these scumbag thieves out there. This isn't their first rodeo. You know, you're talking about the true hackers. You know, that you can just imagine them, right?
I read some article. It's from 2018 where they've had the software for a long time to steal crypto. It's easy to do. They sell the tools on the dark web, and you can contact support and get tips on how to use the software. So, yeah, and I've heard a lot of, I've told a couple people about this, and I'm hearing back that a lot of people are getting hit, getting their crypto ripped off. It's
now, if you would have, let me just say, if you would have taken your portfolio and put it on an offline Trezor wallet, is it fair to say that they never would have stolen your crypto? They could never have done that. They can't reach their digital little mitts through the air, from your computer connection into your offline storage wallet that requires you to put in a 6-digit number to be able to access it. They can't do it.
Is it truly cold storage though? If they have your keys, okay, if I had that and the Trezor wallet has keys to access it, let's say they had been remoting into my computer for a while and I didn't know it, maybe a week or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I plugged in the Trezor and entered the keys and did all that stuff to access it and do a transaction, and they saw it all. Well, at that point, or at some point, they might have seen the keys. If they have the keys and the Trezor's unplugged, can they do recovery on their own computer with a Trezor and say, "Oh, recovery, I've got the keys. It's these 12 words or whatever," and plug it in.
So your point is when they compromised your computer, they could not. It's not only capturing your keystrokes, but you're saying that they could.
They might have been able to see it.
That's what I'm saying, because when you get your keyword served to you, what I learned is you never type it in anywhere. You put it in, you handwrite it in a book. I mean, I have my book right here.
That's what I did too.
It's a good old fashioned book. That's where mine are. And
so now if the feds search your house, they know what it looks like and know what to look for.
Yeah. If you take a look at my last video, my cigar walk from yesterday, at the very beginning, I introduced you to my German Shepherd Zeus. So if you want to come try coming into Uncle Odd's house, meet Zeus. he attacks first and asks questions later.
Okay, so is this thing truly a cold storage wallet, or is it hybrid storage where it can be recovered from another location? Like, let's say your Trezor breaks or shorts out or something happens, because it is a USB product. Are the parts made in China? Are the parts made in Japan? Are the parts going to fail in 2.5 years, 3 years? Let's say the parts fail. What do? Can you recover it with another Trezor using the keys?
It's so weird. I'm sorry. I'm just, it's so weird that nobody has said anything in the chat yet. So I just said, welcome everyone. I want to see if it's working. Yeah, no, the point well taken. Point well taken. It, and I guess then the question would be, can you create with a Trezor T, in my case, to where you can't even restore it until there's some kind of 2-factor authorization to do that?
Nice. Yeah.
Right? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Somebody says it's working. Okay, thank you.
I'm not a pro with this. I don't know everything. It's just I searched and I experimented at the beginning of this whole crypto, at the beginning of my foray into it 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was trying different things and I found, oh, this seems really good. And then it turns out they ripped me off. So I was like, okay, forget about that one. I tried another one. I couldn't even get in. I tried another one. It's just like I was trying all these different ones that finally I found some things that seemed to work well and people were saying good things about them. So, yeah. So, Trezor, I have no idea. I don't know about it. I don't know enough about a lot of these things.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Trezor, and a lot of my own research that I've done. It seems to me like there's a couple. There's Ledger and Trezor that are kind of the leading two, and I like the Trezor T because of the 6-digit password that you have to enter in, and it's always in a different place. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which I hope nobody ever would do. But if it is that, then, the one shows up in the upper left this time, and then it's the middle bottom on the next time that you would plug it in. So it just makes sure that you are there. Maybe that's the protection that,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just thinking it through. I don't.
That's true. And the question is now, let's say your Trezor breaks for some reason or gets corrupted. And what do you do? Do you buy another Trezor and then use the recovery keys?
No, you'd go to trezor.io and use your recovery keys. So exactly what you said could happen where, so you're absolutely right. I mean, it's like nothing is fail safe. And so we have to do the best we can do to protect ourselves. And my takeaway is the Kaspersky is the first line of defense. You want to be able to use a computer that, you've certainly debugged it. And, there are a lot of, I noticed there are a lot of on YouTube 101s on how to basically run your computer through a cleansing process to be able to make sure that, so YouTube, while they're, our enemy in many ways because of censorship with regards to cryptocurrency, they seem to allow us to talk about this. And so on this subject, YouTube is our friend, and there's just tons of content on 101s, and, beware the ones that say, hey, I can help. Let's go to a direct chat. And let's start with, first of all, we need to reboot your X. And what I need is, give me your password. I'm going to remote in to your computer. We're going to be able to help you. Yeah. I'm being somewhat facetious, but not really. And I will tell you, because I've already freaking seen it. Good Lord. I've already seen it. Little old me, 564 subscribers. And the freaking Russian bots are already attacking my chat. And so anytime that I have crypto anywhere or Bitcoin or anything that is like a little hand wave and saying, hey, bots, come in here. And there was one this morning to where a guy came in and I was reading it. I'm like, it looked like this older gentleman. And he says, man, I really love the content of this. It's just what I need. And I'm, am new to crypto myself, but then I'm not sure if you're aware, but I learned of, and then they gave a name and they gave like a link to where it was brilliant. I mean, I write persuasive one-page overviews for Fortune 500 companies for a living. So I appreciate the written word, and it was beautiful. But I smelled a rat, and I'm just like, banhammer, you're out of here. So anybody, please, if anybody ever sees, matter of fact, somebody tried leaving you a message in Telegram that it's not working. First of all, just to let everyone know, when I'm doing any kind of an interview, I'm not checking anything else. I barely check the chat just because I don't want to be rude. So I wouldn't have seen the Telegram message, but thank you for trying in there. I am going to add you as a moderator, give you a wrench, because if you're in here right now and you took the time to go to Telegram to tell me, then you are a friend of mine, and I will ask you that if you see anyone in the chat that is getting ornery or shouldn't be there, I'll trust your judgment. Get them the hell out of here. So we will never on this channel reach out to you in any way, ever saying, hey, let's go to an offline message and talk anything about you sending me something, period. In this story. That's rule number one on avoiding scams, is just, have your radar detector up. But what a story. So let me ask you now, let me just go real, and you can attest, this is, I'm being very truthful when I say this or when I report this, but my first message back to you was, dude, this, I'm not going to say this too shall pass, but basically my message was, when it comes to doing anything crazy, it's urgent to do nothing. Call me first. I was really worried about you, because this is something that I think people, it would put them into the throes of despair and just say, fuck it. I've been at this for 7 years. I'm a minor. I've put everything into this, and poof, gone, just like that. And I was concerned for your mental health and just didn't want you to do anything stupid.
Yeah. Oh, and I spent weeks figuring out the mining stuff, building the computers for that. And like, oh my God, and then having the mining thing set up, like I burned down a port on a motherboard. I had wires fried, it was just like all this stuff happened during it, but it was a learning experience, but it was just like, oh my God, and I can't say that I've really got the money back on the mining yet.
Yeah.
Because at first it was like $12 to $15 a day on 4 or 5 graphics cards. And I was like, okay, at this rate, I'll get my money back in a year.
Wow.
And then after a month, it was like $7 a day. And then it was, after another month, $2 a day.
Wow.
It's just like, oh my God, I should have just bought the Bitcoin straight instead of doing the mining. Because if I bought the Bitcoin when it crashed, like when it was at 4,700 or 9,000 or whatever, I would have got the money back plus, $40 profit.
Somebody's trying to put a Kaspersky and Trezor T link in, and the message is too long. So, well, thanks for trying. But hopefully everyone's takeaway is invest in those two things. Well, that's one thing. I'm glad you brought that up about mining and such. Man, my strong counsel, just from trying to engage my own critical thought, is this is also damn new. And I think, beware, everyone, beware of getting over your skis. Just go simple. Get, $1,000 onto Coinbase, buy some Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, do a Google search of the top 20 cryptocurrency coins, and do a little bit of your own research to just kind of determine what you think is safe, and it's just research. But bottom line, shit, if you want to do the top 5, just do the top 5, but get diversified so that you can Just get into the game. Forget about going down the rabbit hole of trying to mine. Forget about going down the rabbit hole of trying to time the market, because you see that it goes up into these candles and then it dips down. And so you start getting greedy, and you start thinking, oh shit, man, I'm going to time it to where I'm going to buy at the bottom and ride it up, and I'm going to sell, and it's going to crash. And then you start watching some of these YouTubes, like that guy from Sweden or Switzerland or whatever, and he's like so high energy, and he says, hey man, I've got to look at this. The candle is going up. The candle. Ooh, I'm telling you, I got a buy signal. And all of a sudden you start feeling like shit, because you're like, man, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to not just day trade, but minute trade. And then, just take a deep breath, everyone. Get 5 coins, go to Coinbase, buy them, launch.
Coinbase Pro. Yeah,
What's it?
Coinbase.
Yeah, Coinbase Pro. Why Coinbase Pro instead of Coinbase? You gave me that counsel.
You can specify limit buys. You can see more details. So you get your Coinbase account first, and then you basically get your Coinbase Pro set up. And don't expect that you're going to be able to immediately buy. And I wouldn't even buy in at the market now because it's so high, unless you have some real inside information on some coins that are at 3 cents or really low, and you know for sure they're going to. I will tell you, and anybody watching this, I will tell you. By the way, there's somebody saying, where's Alphonse? I don't know if he's in the chat or not, but Alphonse will be. You're watching the Uncle Vigilante Show right now. And if you want to get some Alphonse, I'm interviewing him tonight at 7 p.m., but it's going to be on the Uncle Odd Show. So search that. If you aren't already a subscriber, subscribe to the Uncle Odd Show. I am keeping this channel strictly crypto, Bitcoin, digital currency related. And, but yeah, would love to see you tonight. But what was I saying before I take your time? Take your time. Yeah, don't get all frantic.
Take your time. Get 5 coins, let's say, and do it on Coinbase. Now, what I learned from Jaron is, let's say you buy a coin. Let's just use round numbers. You buy a coin at $100, and then you keep it in your Coinbase, and it goes up to $1,000. And then you're like, oh, I want to take my profits on that, and you take it to cash. Well, that creates a taxable event that triggers paperwork to the IRS. When if you took that $100 initially and immediately pulled it off of Coinbase and you put it into Exodus, and then I would say this, so you step it to Exodus, and then if you wanted to exchange, I'm not even going to go there. Let's just say, and then you get it on your Trezor wallet. So now you have that $100 of coin A on your offline cold storage Trezor wallet. Now it goes up to $1,000, right? Well, you can now take that coin from your Trezor, put it onto your Exodus and other wallets that can do an exchange. And now you can exchange that now $1,000 for some other coins. So maybe you want to diversify into some lower coins, or lower price coins that are like 3 cents or whatever. Who knows? The next Bitcoins, the up and coming. We don't know. I'm just saying you can do this. Now you put that portfolio back on your Trezor. You go to your Blockfolio app that you have on here so that you can manually enter in all of the coins that are on your Trezor, and you can get your hourly dopamine hit. You can hit that refresh, launch that Blockfolio app, and it'll tell you what your offline cold storage wallet is, what it's valued at right now. And that's really fun and cool, and as safe can be. Chris's experience considered. But that way, now there's no taxable event there because you've just done your own personal exchange. And so what you don't want to do is you don't want to be on Coinbase, see the profits, and then take that to cash. If you do want to exchange it for anything, exchange it for what's called a stable coin. And a stable coin basically is like, exchanging for cash, but it's a coin. It's right. It's like tracks to the dollar. Exactly. So, I think you pay a little bit of a commission to them when you do it, is how I understand it. But who cares? Do you have anything to add on that, Chris?
Yeah, I got a few tips actually. When I told you, about, you got to get into XRP. I think I said, this looks like it's got potential and have the paperwork and research seemingly to back it. But there's a little bit of confirmation bias that I had at that time. But I just want to let you know about, one of the guys I watched that I really like is Kevin Cage on YouTube.
Who is he?
Kevin Cage, C-A-G-E.
Kevin Cage.
Seems like a reasonable guy, and he has some more. He's kind of heavy on XRP, so
yeah,
whatever. Anyway, but he had some interesting things to say about U.S. dollar tether. He's saying that he kind of gives a beware of U.S. dollar tether for one, and I am. I'm beware of it, because who knows what's it backed by? Where's the guarantee? Whatever.
Right.
They can just put numbers on a screen and it's just magically there. For all I know, XRP could be shitcoin. That's something that a lot of people say, and I really don't have any idea. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But the thing is I was finding, I went into Rothschild investment documents, and they had holdings in Ripple Labs and all these partnerships going on. So I thought, okay, this looks like maybe it's not a shitcoin. Anyway, also another tip is that Bitcoin and Ethereum, the fees are ridiculous.
So what you're referring to on that is, if you wanted to, if you invest in Bitcoin as a store of value, which is that you're just going to buy and hold, and you're not going to use it to buy anything else out there. But if you did buy something, so let's say that you wanted to buy a cup of coffee for $5. Well, your fee to be able to buy that cup of coffee with that Bitcoin, they're going to charge you like $8 for that privilege. So now you're at $13 for your cup of coffee. That's stupid. One of the alluring things about XRP, and why people say that XRP is going to be the world digital currency, is they have it figured out to where that same transaction, instead of costing $8 like Bitcoin, it's maybe a couple pennies at max.
Well, yeah. Listen to this. Their fee when they stole that 68,500 XRP, the fee that was paid to do that transaction was 0.0003 XRP.
Geez, so that's for those of you like Uncle Odd who need a calculator for the math. That's like 1,000 times less than a penny.
Yeah, it was like at that time the XRP was worth, it was probably at 50 cents or something. So it's like nothing.
It's zero. So that is why that is why you do not want to buy Bitcoin for the purpose of transacting.
Yeah, and if you're gonna buy Bitcoin, I wouldn't. I would not buy it now because it's at 57,543, the highest I've ever seen it.
Absolutely. And let me.
This could be a peak, or it could go to 400. Who knows?
I want to insert in here that there are going to be those of you who benefit from Uncle Odd's manic personality, because usually when I get into something, I go all in. I went into prepper mode about 5 to 7 years ago in that window. And man, oh man, bring it on, Druid Babylonian bastards. My family and I are going to be just fine for a couple of years if you want to take all the fancy pants and lollipops away from us. You know, I'm a prepper. and if you want to bring an army over here, Uncle Odd can fend himself off just fine. But, you know, I went in with this and I thought, I am going to invest in people way smarter than me. So one thing was the dollar vigilante, crypto vigilante. You should get subscriptions to those. As a matter of fact, I think if you get a subscription to crypto vigilante, you automatically get the dollar vigilante. But I went above that to a gentleman I trust a lot had suggested Weiss, Weiss ratings. And man, their track record is sick. It's stupid. So I had a conference with my wife and we made an investment to become paid members there. And it was one of those BOGOs to where if you buy 1 year, you get a second year free. And there was an upsell there, which was if you basically bought the second year right away, that would convert to a lifetime membership. So I'm thinking this is not going to be a flash in the pan for me. Their track record has been sick. And my personal assessment of them after the last 8 weeks of being a member is their reports that come out are unbelievable. Now, I'm not shilling for them. What I'm telling you is Tuesday at 10 a.m., there's a members only conference where they're going to be presenting 3 coins, I believe it is, where they have done all of the research and there are only 3 coins that they are going to suggest to their membership community. Now, I know me, and I'll probably invest in those 3 coins because their track record is sick. I also know me, and I love you. I'm not going to tell you which coins they are, but it's going to be like Where's Waldo? If you come here and you see some things like don't buy Monero, whenever I tell you not to buy something, that's all I'm going to say. Because okay, with that, I'll enough of that. But I'll try to help everyone out because we're all a family. We're all a family around the Uncle Odd Little Kids Round Table. So, Chris, what are you going to do now, man? How are you gonna fight your way back out of that pit?
I'm not sure. That's really hard to recover from.
Yeah.
I maybe I can put away tiny bits or something. But I gotta hand it to the mining since the last theft that happened, which was on the 12th. It was 12th. So that's about 8 days ago or something, or 9 days ago. The mining that I have going, I've got $142 in Bitcoin.
That's awesome, man.
$142. Not that much, but a little bit,
Hey, look, that's a delta. That's a delta of $284. That's the way I look at it. Is you have $142 that you didn't have. So for you to go earn $142, you would have to work for it. So the fact that you're passively generating that, in my rich imagination, I value that at $284. But that's just my Uncle Odd justification math. Makes me feel better.
Yeah, and if I were to find out about, somebody was telling me XDC, which is Zinfin. I've never heard of it. I'm not even able to buy it on Binance US and Coinbase. Never heard of it. Anyway, they were saying, oh, get XDC upside, no, very little risk, blah, blah, blah. Let's say I was able to get that $142 into something that's 3 cents. And then
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's what we want to do. Somebody asked if I'm a Monero investor, and I will say that I just put out in the Crypto Vigilante Summit private chat, where there's just a ton of smart people in there. I am not invested in Monero, and it's only because I've taken my own advice, which is walk slowly. There are so many things that you can do that, and Monero isn't the easiest thing to buy. So what I asked in the chat, is there anybody who has some really good experience, who understands what the Uncle Vigilante channel is all about, which is, it's for newbies. We don't like options. We want to be told what to do. And when I say we, I'm talking about me. So, but I'm saying we because I think I speak for a lot of you. And so I asked, is there somebody? And if there are multiple, I said, we can make it a Zoom party. We can get the party on, but I want to have them come in to say, this is how you buy Monero and protect it. And we'll do a show on it, I promise you. And this is, because it's not so easy, and there's lots of different ways to do it. But I asked, just tell me, give me the step-by-step, and let's do it together on the show. However you do that with protecting, yourself, and they'll figure that out. They're smarter than I am. I just want to follow along, man. I just want to be that little kindergartner who, hell, I want to go stand in line 6 feet apart from my other friends, triple masked, and just look at the teacher to, spray my hands with hand sanitizer and tell me where to go. Buy Monero. That's all. What's that?
Here's a little thing about Monero. Just a little story you might want to know. I was looking at Monero. This was probably, say, a month or two ago. And I had just saw some video done by Vigilante, and they played a little video, really cute music video about Monero. And it made me want to buy Monero, but I didn't buy it immediately. And then right after this, they banned Monero off of all these platforms. They made it illegal. It crashed to like what did it crash to? Was it in the 60s or 130 something? I was like, how's anybody even going to use this now? I was like, oh, forget it. And now it's back up to 257. And I'm like, why? How's anybody buying it? How's anybody using it? Like, this makes no sense to me. It's like
peer-to-peer, bruh.
Peer-to-peer. Oh, okay.
It's private. Put it this way: the Crypto Vigilante Summit that I attended, and many in here probably did, should have been named the Buy Monero Summit. It was all about Monero. And
when was that?
What's that?
When was that?
It was like the 18th and 19th.
January?
Or maybe I have that wrong. I can't remember. Uncle Odd, my memory isn't what it used to be. But, or the 6th and 7th, or 8th and 9th. Maybe it was the 8th and 9th. That feels better. But it was a Thursday, Friday. And it was all about Monero. And you're talking about like the people who are on, you talk about the ground floor of the ground floor. These are the people that were presenting at the summit, that were talking about everything it can do. And basically, Jeff, the dollar vigilante who was telling everybody who subscribed to the dollar vigilante when Bitcoin was $2, and he was saying, trust me, you don't want to buy this. I think he kind of walks on water. And so when he's telling me that, guys, buy Monero, I'm going to figure out how to buy Monero. I just want to figure out how to do it the right way, the easiest way, because it's kind of hard. But we'll figure it out. So yes, somebody in the chat says Uncle Odd likes Monero. You damned right I do. I'm just I'm a little pissed at myself that I didn't, take it more seriously sooner, because when they were at the summit, it was $160. And now what did you say? It's 255 or 275, something like that.
It's kind of 254. But I mean, the thing is, back in March of 2020, it was at $30. And then, it did a long, slow climb over the year. And it was during January, it was.
Well, basically, the moral of the story is, everybody, the people who are way smarter than us, that like are way smarter than the world of cryptocurrency, they were at that summit. And they're the ones that are saying Monero, 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 Monero. So I trust that. I trust them. I don't have to know how it all works, but buying Monero now at $250, let's say, may be like buying Bitcoin at $100 a long time ago. And so look, you do not invest anything that you can't afford to lose, but that might be one of those that if you had $1,000, might want to figure out how to buy 4 Monero with it, and just, hold it and just start shopping for beach real estate, in 10 years.
However, beware. I was on that crash that happened 3-4 years ago, and I bought Bitcoin. I bought in when everything was high. Litecoin was at 254. Bitcoin was at was it 19,000? I think it either peaked out at 19,000 back then or 9,000. I forget what it was. But anyway, I was going in at that peak. Yeah. And Bitcoin crashed, and it was an engineered crash. All this stuff is manipulation.
Yeah.
They had fake stories coming out of stuff being illegal, of Chinese kicking in the doors of the servers. They had all these, they had the news hyping it up, and then they engineered a crash. And
that's why they're
everything down with it. It took everything down with it.
Oh, absolutely.
So beware right now. This might be a peak right now. It may be going much higher. You have no idea. I guess dollar cost average might be a safe way to go. That way, if you put in $500 now, you don't lose your ass.
Well, but here's the thing. Bitcoin isn't going anywhere, and it's going to just go over the years. It's going to go up. Where people get, caught.
Is it with those fees? Really?
Oh, yeah. Hell yes. And you know what? And you know what? They're not done developing yet. They'll attack that problem. But I'm telling you, don't buy the Bitcoin thinking that you're going to ride this wave and sell it in 2 months and make 100%. Buy the Bitcoin and forget about it. Buy whatever and forget about it for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. I mean, I swear in 10 years, Bitcoins are going to be, $1 million. And when you take a look at where Bitcoin has been, it's been like this, and so what you're saying is that you have bought at the top and it's gone down. But you know what? If you don't get your panties in the wad and you wait 5 more years, even though you bought at 19,000, what the hell is it now? 55,000. So I'm not, the only reason why I'm crying for you is because somebody ripped off your Bitcoin, and I'm sorry about that, but it's not because you bought it at 19,000. So I just think long term, everyone, on this. If you are going to be, investment minded like Uncle Odd is, look, we're in this together for the long haul.
And I would say, don't put, if you have an Android phone, don't put Exodus on it. Don't do your recovery keys on it.
Right.
Because that thing, those little apps. All those little apps, who knows what they're doing. And there's these phones. I've heard of people talking about how their phone sends them advertisements after they were just having a verbal discussion with somebody.
Yeah.
And so that means don't read your keys out loud as you're writing them down.
That's a great freaking point. Somebody told me, actually, it was, I'm not even going to say the name. You know who you are, who's out there, who's saying that you should make sure that when you're writing down if you're writing down your address, that you want to say it out loud and have your wife confirm or whatever, write it. No, don't do that, because they are listening to everything. Somebody,
And your webcam. Don't make sure your webcam's not on.
the microphone your guest is speaking into is not selected for this Zoom. So I didn't know there was a setting. Maybe that's been the issue. Is there a,
have people been able to hear me this whole time, or?
I like I said at the beginning, it's kind of it's not good audio. So, but I don't know if there's a selection thing in there. Steve Putland asked, did the summit give you any clues on how to buy Monero? Lots of clues on how to buy Monero, and lots of options on how to buy Monero, and which created lots of confusion on how to buy Monero. And that's really when I lived in the comments. The second day especially, that's when I decided to launch the Uncle Vigilante show, to be able to do this for newbies. So yeah, there were lots of people who were in there, and there are ways, and they presented the ways. I'm just saying it was over my head at the time, and I wasn't in the right headspace to be able to actually execute on anything. So that's why I'm committing to you and committing to myself, is I'm going to get some smart people on the show to be able to walk us through how to do that, because I think it is going to be very important. Thanks for the question. Somebody said I use Binance, seems easy, and then Monero in parentheses. So are you, Jason Gordon, are you using Binance to buy Monero?
Also depends where you are. Like Binance has Binance US for people who are in the United States.
Oh, okay.
They disabled my Binance account that was Binance.com. They told me, we can no longer serve you if you're in the United States. You have to switch to Binance US. And in Binance US, you can't. Well, I need to check if there's Monero. I've never even tried to buy Monero there, but I couldn't buy XDC there. I'm
gonna tell everyone how to buy Monero right now. Uncle Odd lives by these things, these little yellow stickies, and they're the ones that the important stuff I put right on my mirror where I shave and stuff. So I just can't remember the name of the exchange, but somebody told me yesterday very clearly and succinctly how to do it. So give me 1 second. It'll take me 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
By the way, I checked the audio settings. I don't see a way of changing the audio settings for Zoom.
All right. So if you're in Coinbase, buy Litecoin, and then send the Litecoin to Cake Wallet. And then in Cake Wallet, you can convert the Litecoin to Monero. And then you can transfer that from Cake Wallet onto, I presume you'd be able to send it to either directly your Trezor or Ledger, or you could send it over to your Exodus. But bottom line, that's how somebody very succinctly said that you could do it. So Cake Wallet, I haven't downloaded. Now, some people have issues, I guess, with Cake Wallet. Kind of the thing with everybody should know with Monero, why do people like Monero is it's a private coin. It's a truly private coin. It's basically a coin people, it's what people who are buying Bitcoin think they're getting, which is privacy. But Bitcoin is the furthest thing from private. You're able to, any coin that you have that you buy, you're able to see exactly its from when it was first mined. You're able to see exactly who owned it and when it transferred to the next person and such. So it's just like, that's the blockchain. Each time that transaction happens, think about that as just a transaction in a cell on a spreadsheet that just stacks on the next one. So ultimately, when you get your Bitcoin, you're just getting those transactions associated with that original mined Bitcoin, think of it as a cell, like it's on a spreadsheet. So it was C12. That's the Bitcoin that you bought. Now, if you want to sell that to somebody, then when you do, that C12 they're going to add a transaction onto it that it's just going to get higher and higher and higher and higher. At some point in time, that Bitcoin could have gone towards something nefarious. And those who go in, the Druid Babylonian bastards who go in and they want to watch, or like if you have a Bitcoin, they may be able to say that was part of a child porn ring at some point, or a drug lord somehow had that Bitcoin, and they may declare that a compromised coin. Thus, it becomes harder for you to sell that Bitcoin elsewhere, because there's all of that transaction history embedded in your Bitcoin. Monero, as I understand it, was invented with privacy first in mind. So all the Druid Babylonian bastards are going to be able to tell is that there was a transaction. They aren't going to know from who, to who, or how much. And so it is a true private coin. So when you have a true private coin, and you have that true private coin that you get at $250, if that goes to $1 million, well, there's no tracking that capital gain. So that's why, the governments are wanting to make it illegal, because they don't have any way to be able to track it so that they can get their bite out of the coin apple, if you will. So again, my name's Uncle Odd, and I don't know shit. So I'm just telling you, that's my takeaway from what I have been reading and hearing and such. But there are people way smarter than me. You could just Google, tell me about Monero or Monero 101 that can do a better job. But I just try to take complicated things down to a level that I'll understand it. That's all. That is my gift, to dumb things down so that I'll understand it. But yeah, that's why Monero has solved so many things, and really is. I'm just going to say, the smart people who are in the know are saying, don't buy Monero. That's my non-infomercial.
So don't buy Monero.
Buy Litecoin and Cake Wallet. Use it to buy Monero. Send Monero to your Exodus. Okay, thank you. Somebody basically put that in. So Cake Wallet's another one that's your friend. That's my friend. I'm gonna be downloading that and going through this process. When I get the experts on the line, I want to do it. I want to do it together and live stream it, just to be able to show you guys how it's done. So hope you guys are liking the content that we're coming up with. Chris, I thank you very much for coming on and sharing with us your decrepit journey. I'm just really, really sorry. And I am praying to the mining gods that they bless your mine, and that you wake up and all of a sudden you have that. And by the way, universe, it's okay. It's okay if the guy who stole Chris's, it's okay if he has stage fright from here on out, the rest of his life, with any kind of woman, that he just can never get it up. That's okay, universe. I just want you to punish him any way you can. And I just pray that person gets what he got. I hope some bigger scumbag comes and steals his shit. Let's see how he likes that. Okay. And I hope some bigger guy then figures out how to be able to plant, I'm not even going to say that, some kind of porn on his computer and get him to the FBI so that he can be arrested. Bottom line is, universe, you have a way of balancing things. So please balance this theft out for Chris, and bless him in a different way. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I am going to close this out. And Chris, thank you again. This was awesome. And man.
Yeah, remember, your computer is not safe. Oh, you know, Kaspersky is Russian, by the way.
Hey, you know what? My wife is Russian, by the way. I like those Russians.
All right, so yeah, just beware.
Yeah, beware. No, seriously,
be freaking paranoid.
Yeah, yeah.
Log out of your house.
That is going to be
log out every time.
When this video renders, I am definitely going to retitle it, "Be Paranoid." Be very, very paranoid. As a matter of fact, let's make a bumper for it. So I'll cut this out for the beginning. So, ladies and gentlemen, be paranoid. Be very